Hi, I am Arlene with Keto Appetite. I am super excited because this is my first video ever for anything. I decided to make the video in my car because this is where I am most comfortable. I'm in real estate, so I'm always driving, I'm always on the road. Even when I'm not working, I'll go take a drive just to relax. I love being in my car, so I figured it'd be a fitting place to start all this. Before I start, I will tell you, I am not a medical professional. I'm not a nutritionist. I have no degrees or licenses that have anything to do with nutrition. So I'm just somebody that stumbled across keto and have had tremendous success with it. I've lost over 65 pounds, and I've also helped some friends and some random people that I've met online have success with keto. So my first topic is going to be probably the most important topic of it all, which is what is keto. I find that most people fail at keto because they do not have an understanding of what it actually is. Keto is a high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet with zero sugar. Now, people hear low carbs, so they think since they're eating low carb, they are eating keto, and that is not true. Obviously, low carb is part of it, but you have to consume high fat in order to convert your body into ketosis, which allows it to eat the fat your body already has. And so how do you do this? You do this by eating a high fat diet. My diet consists of about 70 to 75% fat. I know it sounds ridiculous because we have been taught our entire lives that fat is bad. And you can tell by the abundance of low fat products on the market these days. It's ridiculous. And I really didn't even pay attention or notice until I got into keto, the abundance of low fat products out there. Another part of it is people don't understand what it's actually doing to your body. If you have a typical diet, your body runs off carbohydrates. So when you eat something, your body burns the carbs and then it gets hungry again. If you eat bad carbs, you can experience crashes, sleepiness, and all. We've all been through there. I've had many sugar crashes. Even if you have good carbs, you know, your body, it'll take longer to get to the crash, but you will eventually have some sort of crash. With keto, if done properly, you experience zero crashes. And I promise you, zero crashes. It's hard to believe. I've been doing this almost 2 years, and the only time I've ever had a crash is when I've cheated and had too much sugar or something, and my body completely rejects it, and I spin out of control. My body just hates me for a while. So when you're doing true keto, high fat, about 70 to 75%, moderate protein, you're at about 20%, 25%, and with carbs, you're about 5%. Zero sugar, that's important. What's also important to know is, I know it's scary to think, you know, you're changing your body completely, but I promise you, if you look at me, I mean, I've lost a ton of weight. I'll even show a picture of before and after. And I did this relatively quickly. About 3 to 4 months after I had started, I had dropped a significant amount of weight because I converted my body from using carbs as energy to using fat. So after I would eat my keto diet, and the food processed through my system, normally if I was just eating carbs, my body would tell me I'm hungry again and I'd want to eat. So I was eating constantly, and that's what causes the weight gain. But when I converted to keto, after my body processed the food, it was like, oh, I'm hungry, let me eat the fat that's already here. So my body literally just started eating itself. And I lost a ton of weight with that happening. Now, just with any diet, and studies show this, that any diet that you stick to will benefit you. Not any diet. I mean, there's some crazy diets out there that you probably don't want to try. But if you did it, just ate healthy, as long as you did it consistently, you will see results. The hardest part of these diets is consistency. You have to stick to it. Just with, I mean, anything else, any type of success you want doesn't come easy. You gotta stick to it. But you have to have your fundamentals first. You have to understand the basics. And if you understand that keto is a high fat, moderate protein, low carb, zero sugar diet, and you stick to that, you will see results, and you will see results very quickly. So you know, take a, you know, you have to process that, because I know that's hard for people to understand, especially since for so long you've been told fat is bad. But if you change your body to consuming your own body fat while after you've eaten, I mean, seriously, the results are real. It's not a fad diet. It's a diet that people are focusing on now because results are real. And the people that call it a fad are the ones that don't understand it and have had zero or little success with it. So they're like, oh, it's a fad. It's just people trying to sell you products. Now, because of that, there are a lot of products out there that don't work. And the reason they don't work is because you need to be in ketosis for them to really take effect. As an example, I was at my mom's the other day and I saw a couple keto bottles, keto pills. And I looked at her, I'm like, you're not in keto, you're not doing keto, so these pills will not work with you. Now, if I took them, they will help me because they will boost my level of ketosis. But for her, they don't. So there's a lot of misinformation out there that is sabotaging people, basically. And I do see a lot of gurus, we'll call them, and I follow them all, and I still do, and a lot of them had good advice. A lot of them have great recipes and all that good stuff, but what they aren't telling you is what keto actually is and what it's doing to your body. So a lot of people think that they're doing keto when they're actually not. And that, you know, I have some people that I've worked with, and the thing that I fight the most is telling them high fat, and they'll show me their numbers and they'll show me their, you know, what they've been eating. And I'm like, you're eating too much protein. And it's like you're eating about the same amount of fat to protein, and all you're doing is stalling yourself. You have to increase that fat. You know, most people understand the low carb part. That's the easiest for a lot of people to understand, is the low carb. The high fat part is really what's complicated for people. And also keeping the protein down. It is very tricky when you don't understand what's going on or what you're doing to have moderate protein. Because if you look at a lot of foods out there, if it has a high fat, it likely has high protein. So it's really hard to balance them out, which is why you've probably heard of bulletproof coffee, which is mostly fat. I every morning I have a coffee. I put MCT oil, which I'll talk about in a different video. I put that oil in there, and that is how I start my day. And I don't get hungry until about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because my body is using that oil as fuel. And then once it runs out of that fuel, it's using my fat source, which I don't have much anymore, but it's still using a little bit of my fat source as energy. So I'm always energetic. I always have enough energy to do whatever I want throughout the day. I don't experience any sugar crashes unless I actually have sugar. So my energy level is actually really consistent throughout the day. So remember, keto is high fat, moderate protein, low carb, zero sugar, 75% fat, 70 to 75% fat, 20 to 25% protein, 5% carbs, and zero sugar. And I promise you, I know that sounds painful, the zero sugar. I have such a sweet tooth. So when I found this out and I started the diet, that was probably the most painful thing for me. But after about a month of really focusing on the diet, I found that I got zero sugar cravings. Even now, even when I do have sugar, it's mostly because, you know I love brownie sundaes. So some days I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to cheat today. I'm going to have my brownie sundae. And I know I'm going to feel horrible after, but I'm going to love every second of eating that brownie sundae, which is another benefit of keto. Is once you've completely converted your body and you do have your cheat days, because let's be honest, we're all going to have them. So you have to understand that it's going to happen. So, you know, when you have that cheat meal, it is going to be the best cheat meal. You're going to appreciate it so much. You're going to savor every single bite. And that's really what it's about. I didn't really know how much of a slave to food I was and any kind of carbs until I got into keto. And then I started paying attention to the foods that I was putting in my body and how my body reacted. And I couldn't believe that I was blindly putting things in my food and not really enjoying it. I mean, obviously there's some good foods out there that regardless taste good. But when I enjoyed my first cheat meal after I started keto, it was it was life-changing almost. It was wonderful. It was the most delicious meal. So I actually look forward to these cheat days because I know that I'm gonna pick something that's worth it, first of all. And it's funny because you will start looking at foods differently. And you'll look at it and say, you know what? I know what that tastes like, and it is not worth risking what my body's feeling right now. And your mindset will change, but you do have to stick to it, and you have to do it correctly in order to convert your body into ketosis, which I'll get into more specifics on how to actually make that happen. So I hope you enjoyed my first video and you have a little more understanding what keto is. Again, this is my first video, so don't be too critical of me, but I would love your comments. I would love to know what you think. If there are any topics that you would like me to talk about, the more information you give me, the more content I can create and help you out. You can send me a personal message if you'd like on Facebook, on Instagram, Keto Appetite. I am going to start a YouTube channel, so you can contact me there. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.